But see, when Ali Carter came back and, also addressed it, now that's just dead. I did my best to put on a good face. I tried to say all the right things. I tried not to compromise everybody. I tried.
Jaguar Wright is still on these industry folks' necks, y'all, because she just sent the internet into a tailspin after exposing who's really been hunting Ali Carter and trying to take her out. Not too long ago, they already came for Jaguar and Katt Williams. But since those moves didn't land, now they got their focus on Ali because she's been stirring things up lately. Now, I know a lot of y'all think Diddy is the one behind this, but nope, it ain't him. And when you find out who it really is, you're gonna be shook. Ali says she's been tracked like an animal, stalked, and even attacked right inside her own home. Ali been putting pressure on this industry for a good minute now, calling out all the twisted demonic stuff they've been doing, especially to kids. Just a few days ago, she hopped on a heated IG live and spilled some chilling details about how certain powerful folks, including some of Diddy's associates, have allegedly been snatching up children and forcing them into unthinkable acts with animals while they sit back, record, and get off on it. She also claimed these poor kids were allegedly strung up in metal chains while satanic rituals were performed on them. Now, Ali didn't say exactly where all this was going down, but she made it clear she saw it all firsthand while working in the industry. And according to her, most of these kids didn't make it out alive, and the few who did, they were never the same again.
Now I think a lot of people are not ready for someone to tell you that there are 3-4-year-olds that people take pride in sticking bars of children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old children to horse stables and have horses and dogs them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people hang children upside down in satanic ritual abuse. Literally, by metal prongs, they hang them to get blood dripping out of them, and people go up under and like you're under a rainfall to take their blood. There are situations that I don't think people are ready for. We're not touching the seriousness of trafficking. Like the videos that I've made, the videos that I've started to make, this is not even touching. This is the gist of it, and I think so many people are quick to raise a sign and say adrenochrome, but you don't know what it means, and you don't know why it's such a thing, why it's such a strong thing in trafficking, and what makes it so strong. What, you know that they're drinking children's blood, but you don't know what they're doing to those children.
And if you're wondering whose kids were caught up in all this and why there haven't been reports of them going missing, well, that's because most of them were trafficked into the US from struggling third world countries. Y'all remember one of the charges Diddy was facing had to do with human trafficking, right? A lot of folks assumed it was just about him running freak-offs, but allegedly, these dark rituals were part of it too. And if you thought that was wild, just wait till you hear the other disturbing things Ali has witnessed in the industry and what she had to say about it. Not too long ago, she exposed even more shocking details about how Diddy allegedly used to throw outrageous freak-offs, bringing in underage boys and girls. But check this out, y'all. The boys actually had it even worse than the girls. Apparently, they weren't allowed to eat anything until the freak-off was over. And the reason? Diddy didn't want them throwing up or needing to douche while his associates were bending them over. But here's where it gets even sicker. Some of his associates allegedly had a whole douche fetish, so they would handpick certain boys and force them to do things that would mess up their stomachs, making them have diarrhea on purpose during the freak-offs. And if that wasn't twisted enough, they would make these boys lay in their own mess while recording the whole thing.
Watching an episode called Pig Night, when I went, they tried to feed us, and I remember it because when
Pig
you
Night.
have to do
Say what?
orders, jobs like that, you don't eat. You're not allowed to eat. You actually have to starve yourself, because when you have to do those type of jobs, you can't eat because you will throw up. This happens, your principal get mad at you, really mad at you. And if that is a fetish for someone, they use that to their advantage. So if you throw up on someone, you will have to eat it. If you someone, We'll have to lay in it. Celebrities that are a constant visit.
Unfortunately for Allie, the industry got their eyes locked on her, and they are not feeling how she's been putting them on blast. For the past few weeks, they've been hunting her down like prey, trying to take her out, and now she wants the world to know. So if something happens to her, we already know exactly who was behind it and why they did it. She even hopped on IG Live recently to expose how the industry almost got her by poisoning her. She even posted a video showing the state of her home after some goons broke in. Thankfully, she wasn't there when they came through, so they didn't get the chance to attack her, but they definitely left a mess behind, making it clear that they had been there. Allie said she's even more worried for the people around her because they didn't sign up for this, yet their lives are just as much at risk as hers. She even went as far as calling out some of the people she believes were behind the attack. And according to her, these people leaked her address and sent goons after her.
You get pressured, attacked, stalked, and hunted down for your own information. You get abused and re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue a back and forth this week like that fucking mattered. Okay, you had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are gonna be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home. You don't believe me? Here you go. What once was a full house, we were still paying rent on our house. What we were doing this whole time was moving everything because our house is gone. Our house is gone. This is the speaking out. What was our beautiful 3-bedroom acre home on 21225 Standing Rock Avenue, because everybody has the address, because organizations that were attached to Marks, Sawyer, and many other organizations decided to put out the address, my license plate to one of my cars, and many other. So here you go. You can have it, right? Because this is what happens when you speak out. This is what happens when you tell all the truth. This is what happens when you decided to stand up for the children, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to do a seminar, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to just be and then show up somewhere and talk and monetize everything that they're saying. When you realize that that's bullshit, then you will understand. Look at the tactics and pay attention.
As soon as Allie spilled all this tea, the first name that came up was Jaguar Wright. And it makes sense. Just like Allie, she's been out here exposing the industry. And just like Allie, she was hunted down like prey and nearly lost her life just for speaking out. Now they didn't manage to take her out, but best believe they pulled some strings to try and silence her, like getting her locked up. Yep, you heard that right. Last year they had Jaguar arrested and kept her sitting in jail for days, all over a so-called failure to return a U-Haul truck she rented. Now, I don't know about y'all, but we all know at least one person who didn't return a U-Haul on time. And let's be real, they never got arrested for it, let alone sat behind bars for days. This was clearly a warning from the elites, a way to scare Jaguar into staying quiet. But trust and believe, that did not stop her from airing them out even more.
You know, every time I've been arrested for something that I didn't do, and yet nobody said, but did he get arrested finally and get the book ready to be thrown at his very dance? Y'all watch me get arrested there, just Virginia bringing Gene Deal to town.
Jaguar specifically talked about the time when a group of armed men broke into Katt's house while he was asleep, trying to take him out. Now, nobody knows exactly how he managed to escape, but according to Jaguar, the situation left Katt so shaken and traumatized that he started sleeping in Kevlar every single night. And if you don't know, Kevlar is basically a bulletproof vest. Just imagine being so terrified for your life that you can't even go to sleep without wearing one. That's beyond wild. On top of that, constantly having to watch his back 24/7, that kind of stress will definitely take a serious toll on his mental health.
And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house. And I left. You know, back in that moment, Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on. in bed.
Jaguar recently did an interview and she did not bite her tongue. She went all in on everybody who turned a blind eye when Allie tried to warn us about the shady things going on in the industry.
I did my best to put on a good face. I tried to say all the right things. I tried not to compromise everybody. I tried. And guess what?
At what moment did it not work? Like, were you like, man?
Sitting with my son's corpse. For what was the question that loomed about my mind? For what?
So as y'all can see, Allie ain't the first person to be hunted down for exposing these industry secrets. This is exactly what they do to anybody who dares to speak on their filthy business. But one thing about Jaguar and Allie, they're not the type to be silenced. And of course, folks got their own opinions on the situation, like this person who said, Allie Carter has been talking. She is just now being recognized by big creators, needs to do a little research. She doesn't make money. Truth doesn't cost anything. Another person chimed in and said, Allie is not fake. She doesn't ask supporters for a dime, and she always turns the attention back around to the children going through this ritual abuse. So you gotta find another way to try and discredit her, and she has big receipts. But now, I wanna know what y'all think. How do you feel about Allie almost losing her life over this? And do y'all believe she'll keep escaping these attempts on her life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to click right here to watch this other crazy video.